Madam Attorney General, it's good to see you again. We welcome you back to this committee, and we from Maryland, we from Baltimore particularly, thank the Justice Department for all of their help during our recent challenges in Baltimore related to the uprising we had over one young man's death, Freddie Gray, for which now it is going through the judicial system. And we're examining the need for additional criminal justice reform within our police department. But Madam Chair, over 350 Baltimoreans were killed last year. 350 dead, some of whom were little children who were killed as innocent bystanders, or there's a question of whether it was revenge killing. This was criminal work. The growing nexus of drugs, crime, guns, violence, murder. My question to you, when I look at the 350 deaths, what can we do in just plain English to keep the guns out of the hands of the criminals? I know we're talking about Second Amendment rights. Maryland is a state with enormous numbers of hunters, a gun tradition, particularly in our area. But you know, the gun tradition in Baltimore City shouldn't be that the drug dealer is the one who gets the guns. How can we, in either the president's new proposals or in current law, really have an aggressive effort on this issue of guns and criminals?
Thank you, Madam Vice Chairwoman. I think one of the most important things we can do is make sure that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms is fully resourced. Our request for 200 additional agents and investigators for fiscal year 2017 is something that will, of course, be coming before this subcommittee with the 2017 budget. We do intend to, in our spend plan, send up information about the beginning of that process, even this fiscal year. The law enforcement priorities of ATF at this point, consistent with the Smart on Crime plan, are in fact to focus on the violent crime issue that you have just described, to focus on individuals who terrorize neighborhoods, who harm children, who essentially, through the unlawful possession of firearms, create a danger to law-abiding Americans seeking to live their lives in our vibrant cities. We are targeting not just the gun traffickers, but as my ATF director calls it, the trigger pullers, gang violence, places where we've seen an increase in violent crime. We are looking at ways to target our resources to focus on those individuals who are causing the most harm to our communities. So that is our first.
Do you feel that this is also due, this rising gun violence, not to interrupt, is related to the growing heroin epidemic? In other words, what's happened in my city, which is just awful, with these over 350 dead, not only the injured, God forbid, but the injured. But this is in every major city that this is going on. So it's just not like a Baltimore bubble. This seems to me like an epidemic that's hit our big urban areas.
Yes, ma'am, indeed. I believe that the phrase epidemic accurately captures the problem of the increase in heroin and opioid abuse that we are currently seeing. This is a problem in many of our urban areas, but I must say it has sadly spread across this country. There are many counties with various densities, even many rural areas, that are in the grip of an opioid and heroin epidemic. And with that often comes an increase in violence. There, our enforcement activities are focused on pairing ATF agents with DEA and FBI agents to target those criminal organizations that are bringing narcotics in and that are protecting the drug trade with their firearms. Well,
thank you very much, Madam Attorney General. My time is up. Senator Baldwin and I just left a hearing chaired by Senator Alexander and Vice Chair Senator Patty Murray on mental illness. Excellent panel, very excellent, superb witnesses. And I know that we're going to really talk about this issue of mental illness, people who are mentally ill getting drugs, this whole issue of privacy rights What do you know? How do you stop? The Virginia Tech situation comes to mind, but, and we could go through other cases, but in Virginia Tech, that young man had been in and out of institutions. Who knew? Who could help? When do we intervene? So, and just their ability to get these guns. We also had a shooting at a Columbia Mall. We all have shootings. That's what's so terrible. We all have shootings. And so I look forward to hearing your comments also on the mental illness aspect. But I know we have excellent other senators here and want to get to their questions. I'm going to hear their questions and your answers. Thank you very much.